Hi friends! There's my Vancouver half marathon from a couple weeks ago. I have two shirts because I volunteered. This is my runner shirt. I love this color blue. It looks good on me. Pale skin people unite. I love this shirt so much. So I wanted to go over the Vancouver half and how it went and if I finished it or not, because you get the shirt beforehand. You get it when you do your package pickup. So the Vancouver half took place 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. It's July 12th and the race was on Sunday, June 26th. Summer showed up on June 24th. We have had like the coldest, mildest, rainiest spring on record. I'm sure that that's not true, but it feels like it. So summer showed up on the Friday. I went for a run Friday morning. It was still relatively cool, so I was like, hopefully this is what it's like on Sunday when we start, because if it gets hot towards the end, that's okay because you're almost at the end. There's no way that you'll get like heat stroke or heat exhaustion or anything unless you're super dehydrated within like the end of a race. Especially if you're fast, you'd be okay. So the race started at 7:30 a.m. So Jason dropped myself and my cousin Alicia off near the start up at UBC on race day. And we were dropped off around like 6:45, so enough time to like walk around, stretch, use the washroom. I thought I was gonna have to check a bag. I didn't, bless. So that we were feeling pretty good. It was like warm, but not like gross warm. So we were like, if it stays like this, we should be okay. So we went to the start line. I found Robbie, who is my coach, and actually was like a pacer for the Vancouver half. He was doing the 2-hour, 10-minute pace with no walk breaks. So a continual run. Totally on board with that. Let's do it. So I started with him. I was just a little bit ahead of him, just kind of like getting around the crowds at the beginning of the race. Past the first water station, it was like full of striders, volunteers. Woohoo! I was feeling really good at that point. You couldn't really feel the sun yet. At 7 kilometers after, I think this is after I passed that water station on the way back the second time, I was like, yeah, it's getting hot. Hot. I saw Robbie come past me and I was like, so long as I keep him like within view, I'm okay. I had lost Jade. I don't know what happened to Jade. She like abandoned me. So Jade, if you're watching this, that was rude. I saw Robson, who went up like pulling a muscle or something in his leg. He got like all bandaged up, I'm guessing at the medic tent, and then he passed me. I was like, what the hell? Robson's gonna beat me and he's injured. That's fantastic. But I knew that I needed to like kind of keep calm and not like go too fast, which Derek yelled at me for during the BMO half. Got to stay calm. I got to stay on plan, keep it slow now, and then I can pick it up again. Just keep Robbie within the view. Y'all, this reminded me of the first day in Hawaii when we went for a run. Not the first day, our second day. We got up on the Tuesday. We went out for, it was like 7 o'clock or 7:30 or something. We went out for a run and we were dead. Like dead. I stopped the workout and we walked to get the coffee, and then we we sat there and we like downed iced coffees. And then we walked back to the condo. Like that was supposed to be a 12-kilometer run, and we turned it into, I think, 9 with a 5K walk, because it was like a couple K to the coffee shop and then a couple K from the coffee shop to the house. That's what this reminded me of, was just running in that sun and having not done it at all yet. Just, it hits you in the face. I lost sight of Robbie. He was gone. See you later. Okay. This happened at about 12K. I was in trouble. I had, I could feel a headache, which sometimes I get when I'm running, just with weather change. So that can happen to me in the winter, especially this year when we went from like regular cold here, which is like 3, 4, 5 degrees Celsius, to like -20, which we don't get here. There's a reason I live here and not anywhere else in this country. So I wasn't immediately concerned. Kind of get that. Allergies, of course, as well. The sudden change in weather. So that I kind of felt that at about 10 or 11K. Didn't really think much of it. I just kept the slower pace. I started to incorporate a couple of walks just to kind of really force myself to slow down. But then I saw, you know how you get like little goosebumps on your skin, but you're sweating? And those little goosebumps have like this little white on the top of them. Yeah. Then I knew I was in trouble. Excessive sweating with clammy skin and goosebumps and the headache are all signs of heat exhaustion. And I was like, well, what am I going to do now? I knew I wouldn't be able to run the rest of the race. I think is that around, I think that's around the downhill to the beach from UBC. And I texted Jason and I was like, I actually think I might have to withdraw from this race. I cannot run anymore. I've got signs of heat exhaustion and I have just under 10 kilometers to go. And he was like, whatever you decide to do, just let me know. Walk for a bit, see how you feel. Drink some water, drink some Noon. If you've never had heat exhaustion, it's basically your body is overheating and it can't cool itself down. So what I chose to do, and what Jason also suggested, was walking and kind of allowing my body the opportunity to try and cool itself down. So instead of working it really hard, just walking and seeing if that helped. Because I knew if I started to get nauseous or dizzy, I was done and I would have to either flag down one of the bike medics or get to a water station or an aid station and withdraw. So I walked a lot, and that's really, really hard to do, especially when you're in a race and especially when it's that hot, because you're like, I would just like to keep running so that I could be done. I did continue to walk, and then I started to incorporate short jogs just to kind of see how my body would react. Not great, but I looked at my watch, and because I had that, I was doing like the 6-minute kilometer, 6:10 kilometers. I knew that even if I walked the majority of the rest of the race, I would come in around 2.5 hours. Math is hard for me sometimes, so it took a while to figure that out, but I did. So I just walked. I did run for a bit because I saw Jason. I knew he would be down along the water somewhere. So when I saw them, I was running, and then I continued to run probably another couple of minutes, and then I had to stop because I felt very clammy again. So I just stopped and I walked, and there was shade around there. So I was like, shade. Did I see them again? No, I didn't see them again until, so Jason had to leave. He had a family thing to go to that I obviously could not attend because I signed up for this race like months ago. I am going to preface this. I sincerely hope that nobody was seriously injured during this race. I saw a fair amount of people on the side of the road, especially towards the end of the race, being tended to by bike medics and paramedics. It was heartbreaking, and I really, really, really hope that nobody fell and like got concussions or any of that kind of stuff. I sincerely hope that this was like people like me being like, I just can't anymore. I need a medic. I need help, and I need to get out of this race. Honestly, I was going to do it too. It's really, really hard to run in the heat at a race pace when you haven't had any heat at all. Like, we've been below seasonal for the last couple of months. It has been awful. And I knew if summer was going to show up, it was going to show up in time for this race. And it did. And so I knew that morning that if I wasn't feeling good, I was just going to have to call it and either walk or get out. Thankfully, I was able to continue walking. I didn't get any dizziness or nausea, so I knew I was okay. So I got my medal. Hey. So this used to be the Scotia half. Scotia is no longer a sponsor, so this is now the Vancouver half, and I love it. So I came across the finish line in a sprint for the last 500 meters. I really just wanted water. I so badly wanted water over my head. I wanted noon. I wanted more water. The volunteers from the first and second aid water station from Striders were at the finish line, and then others who came to just cheer. I could hear them, and they saw me, and I was sprinting, and I was just like focused on getting across that finish line. So I didn't like wave at them or anything, and I felt horrible, but I saw that finish line, and I was like, the water is so close. It is so close. Sorry guys, but like I was determined. I crossed that finish line in 2 hours and 27 minutes, which my worst half is from the Wine and Dine. Actually, no. It would be the Lululemon Seaweeds that I did in 2017 because I had plantar fasciitis. So I basically walked the whole thing, and I came in over 3 hours for that. But 3 hours for walking a half basically is pretty good. So definitely not my worst by far. And I don't even care. I just don't. I wanted the medal. And you have, I think it's three and a half hours to cross a finish line for a half. It's either 3:15 or 3:30. I knew I could do it. I wanted the medal. I just needed to make sure. I think I did the right thing by walking as early as I did. I think that helped me. I don't do well in the heat. I am terrified to train for the Chicago Marathon next summer. Like, terrified. But Chicago, if that's a whole year away, I don't have to worry about that till next year. I haven't done this race in a few years. Obviously the pandemic for the last couple of years. I did do this race virtually last year, but I got to do my own route, so it's not the same thing. And this is a new route, so you go a little bit further down Marine Drive and then back up through UBC, and you finish now in Kitsilano. Will I do this race next year? Probably. Because I am training for Chicago, I will already be in my training cycle. It'll be a training run. It won't be a race. It would be a training run. I'd be going out there and doing like the 6:30, 6:45 pace. So if anyone wants to run their very first half next year and thinks that they'd be around the 2:15, 2:30 mark, I'll come with you. We can run walk, we can run straight. It'll be a training run for me, so I really don't care what pace we do. I am burnt out from running right now, so I'm not committing to the run as of yet, and registration for this doesn't open up until like the end of this year anyways, so I have time to think about it. But if you want to run your very first half next summer, I will pace you. We will have a good time. Even if it's not your first, if you've run a 2:45 half before and you want to try running a 2:30 half marathon, I got you. Let's go. Let's do it. I'm socially awkward and I like to make punny jokes, so I can offer you that. And I usually have a pretty kick-ass cheer squad. They will also cheer for you. So if you want to do this race, I would highly suggest it. Love the Vancouver half, even with the new route, even with the sneaky hills in Kitsilano at the very end of the race. But the route is gorgeous. There are water and noon stations, and they have medics on bikes just in case something happens on the course. If you hurt yourself like Robson did, or you need to withdraw for any reason, you just go to the side of the road, and as they're biking, you constantly see them on the course. So if you want to run it, I would follow the race coordinator company, run CRS West, I think it is. I will link it below. Follow them on social. They also have like brand ambassadors. So like, I think Megan is on there, May is on there, Raymond I think is on there, Janine is on there. I'm drawing a blank. I can't remember who else is on there. It's just like, it's a small team of brand ambassadors, but they do have codes if you are looking for discounts. This is the same company that does the Under Armour East Side 10K in September, which I will also be doing. Burnt out, don't care, I want the medal. It's 10K, I can run, I can use that as a training run, it's no problem. So if you wanted to run that, I will also be there. I don't have a code because I am not an ambassador. In the words of Ryan, they don't have as big of a budget as some other companies, which I get. But if you follow them, sometimes they do giveaways and stuff for races. And then if you follow their brand ambassadors, they also have codes. So I'll link some of my faves. They'll all be down below. Let me know if you ran it, even if you didn't finish it. Let's all reminisce about how the hottest day of the year so far is the day of the race, but at least there was no heat dome. Yeah, that's it. This is never gonna get old. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like this kind of content, if you like running and social and all that kind of stuff, give me a follow. I would super love it and appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time.